welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name is Grant. I am unboxing the second in a kind of a series because they tie together, but this is a game in the States of Siege series called Ottoman Sunset, The Great War in the East, 1914 to 1918. The game is designed by Darren Leveloff. Darren is commonly known as the godfather of the States of Siege series. He started the series way back in, my gosh, I don't even, like the early 2000s. Israeli Independence was his first game, published by Victory Point Games at that time. And this was a later game that pairs with Habsburg Eclipse. And they can both actually be played together. And this game is published by Victory Point Games, but also distributed and published by Tabletop Tycoon. Tabletop Tycoon purchased Victory Point Games line, and this is one that they had rights to, and Darren has done a second edition with them. Let's go ahead and turn the box over. I just got these about 3, 4, maybe 5 days ago. I've yet to play them, but I do want to finish a game I have on my table and get this one there definitely. As a States of Siege series game, you'll notice here on the back they show the map. These are various tracks that converge here on Constantinople. There you can see. You've got the Salonika front, the Caucasus front, Mesopotamian front, Arab front, and Sinai front. You also have a small, very short Gallipoli front that ties in. So this one has a lot of tracks. What you're going to do is you're going to draw these cards, do what they say, move these tracks, do certain events that hurt you, and then take a certain number of actions based on the action points that it says you have on these cards. So everything is driven by the cards. There's usually 50 of those event cards, and you have to survive through them in order to win the game. Here's where it says, combine this game with Habsburg Eclipse for a linked experience or 2-player co-op. So you can play that together. Looking forward to that. I would love to. And this actually says 3rd edition. So I said 2nd. Not really sure, going to be honest. I'll stick with 2nd edition, but it may be a third edition. But yeah, great looking box. Art is nice. Presentation is nice. I think they've really done a good job with these series. Somebody asked me on Twitter how these compare to the Worthington Publishing deluxe editions of their States of Siege series games. I would say very comparable. Both are done well, great components, new maps, new art, new updated rules, and I think this is no different. So let's go ahead and take the box off. This is a Tabletop Tycoon kind of look at their games. Quite a few in there. There's Ottoman Sunset, Nemo's War. These are titles they picked up from Worthington mostly. I'm sorry, not Worthington. Victory Point Games, geez. High Treason, fantastic game by Al Berry. Really enjoyed that game. The Trial of Louis Riel. Black Orchestra I own. We haven't played that yet. Really look forward to that one day. Heard good things about Healthy Heart Hospital. Don't know much about those others, but that's just kind of a look at their games. I'll go ahead and recycle that. Rules, fairly thick. Here we have 32 pages, but you will notice that the back couple of pages, 1.5, involve optional rules for the combined game. You can see that. And then some other optional rules as well. So really, we're talking about 30 pages of rules, which is quite a bit more than some of these States of Siege series games. You can see they have nice color examples and try to talk about what they're discussing. Here's an interesting part. When you play the two games, I believe you connect them here, but I could be wrong about that. This is the Baghdad-Berlin Railway. I could be wrong about that, but that is on the other. Yeah, here it is, right here. Well, I dropped the rule book. So here it is right here. I was just talking about that, and here it shows up. So it talks about the combined game, and here it shows on the top Habsburg Eclipse, and on the right or the bottom is Ottoman Sunset. And you will see they connect here with that Berlin-Baghdad railway. So kind of a cool concept. Yeah, I mean, these games are not complex. They're not difficult. This is actually history behind, so these aren't really rules. So when I said the number of rules, I think we're mainly talking about there's an extended example of play and then victory conditions. So 16 to 17 pages of rules. So not that bad. Not as bad as I thought or said. So forgive me for that. Here is one of the displays on the map, the Narrows display. Kind of interesting. But yeah, really looking forward to this one. It looks great. Well put together. I think it's going to be fun. Here is the counter sheet, kind of a 3/4 counter sheet. The counters here on the top are dice roll modifiers that you're going to use based on conditions that are happening. You can see that's a +1 modifier on the back side. Gallipoli only until evac, then only Sinai and Arab. I'm not sure if that says that exactly on the... Yep, it says it exactly on the other counters as well. These are counters you're not going to need to clip. Here are the different fronts, the different markers, the different national will track. I'll show you that on the game board itself. Different conditions, the U-boats, the Naval Royal Navy. There are minefields that can happen. So yeah, lots of counters. They are double-sided. Look pretty good on the back as well. So there you go. Those are the counters. I think they've done a nice job with them, and they look really good. And frankly, they're pre-rounded. I'm not going to have to clip them. I'm a little bit of a psycho about clipping counters. Really enjoy doing it, and like the way they look after they are clipped. Many of you are like that. So this is a longboard, as you can see. It is mounted, so it's very nice, very sturdy. Going to stand up. Okay, so remember I mentioned the Berlin-Baghdad Railway. So here it is in the upper left-hand corner of the board. You're going to connect that with Habsburg Eclipse. But yeah, once again, you can see the tracks converging on Constantinople. If one of these armies ever get into Constantinople, if you can't get it out, you're dead. Very interesting that the Arab front and the Sinai front actually become one front here in box number 2. I think that's pretty interesting. I've seen States of Siege do that at least one, maybe 2 other times. These are Ottoman symbols. Not really sure what those refer to. There are several of those. Sinai pipeline, unbuilt. So if you build it, till the pipeline is built, the Sinai unit must roll less than its battle value to advance into boxes 5 or 4. Interesting. And it looks like you don't build it, they build it. So yeah, here you have that Turkish national will there at the bottom. That's going to determine whether you win or lose the game, but also it's going to contribute or take away from your final victory score. There are several boxes, war weariness, stalemates, Yildirim available. Not sure what that is. Defeats, victories, and then Intelligence Bureau for the East. Kind of neat. Here is the Gallipoli front, kind of insert box with the Narrows there. Remember, we saw the, wherever it was, the U-boats. It says Straits closed, so that is an event that's going to happen that's going to close that and affect how that works. Here is this is an inset of the Narrows specifically, and it shows 4 or 5 spots with some areas for minefields, some different spots and points on the track. U-boat counter is going to go there. It has a British fortitude track, so this is like a morale track for them, right? It's going to decrease, and it looks like they will withdraw. So if you can get them to withdraw, you're going to gain a victory point. Kind of interesting. And then it says Constantinople 4. Not sure what that refers to, but it points to Constantinople. Here is the sequence of play. This is a good requirement for any good solitaire game. You got to be able to know how to play the game and understand it. There it is. Boom. Events, front advancing, action phase, national will. Bam. There's that Berlin-Baghdad Railway. and here's how to conduct offensives. Offensives are simply you attacking these different fronts. So when one of the markers is in the 2 box, you're going to play an action, and you're going to roll a die to overcome that. Roll 1 die and add any modifiers, either plus or minus. There will be both. Here it kind of says this right here. Result less than or equal to battle value. Each of the front markers has a battle value. No change. Greater than battle value equals the front will retreat. So tying it does no good. Less than does no good. You have to roll over it. 1 space cannot be pushed off the map. Some of these games you can push them. If they're in the 4 spot here, the last spot on the track, you can push them off the board or take them off. I'm trying to think which one did that. Levy en masse was one that you could do that. So that's a look at the board. We're going to show you, you get a 6-sider, boom. Pretty simple, nothing fancy there. And that's okay. It's one of the main parts of the game. So if I don't think I have any Ottoman dice, but maybe I'll have to get out there and find one and then add it to this game. Here are those, there's 2 different types of cards. There are scenario setup cards. There are 4 of these. I think these are really handy dandy. You've got the Grand Campaign, a Doomed Sultan, tells you what to set up and where. A 1915 scenario, 16 scenario, and 17. And it tells you where you should start the markers and the different forces and the narrows. So very helpful in setup. These just make the game easier to play. Never a bad thing. If you can, know how to play the game better, it's easier on everyone. You'll notice these cards are numbered 1 to 50. I believe there's a variant where you can play them in historical order, but a lot of times you're going to maybe always start with 1 and always end the game with 50, but you're going to mix up the rest of them in between. So that creates an interesting non-historical look at World War I, or at least the Ottoman sunset in the East, the war in the East. So here is the name of the card, Intelligence Bureau for the East, has a historical paragraph to better understand what this is referring to. And then it will give different instructions on what is to happen. So this one, it says, place the Intelligence Bureau for the East marker in the turkey box. So you're going to take this marker right here, right? It is over here, and you're going to put that right away in the whatever that does. Not sure what that does. I haven't read up on it. Then there's a section which tells you which of these fronts are going to advance. And this one, Mesopotamia, which is a British force, is going to advance. Let's see. Maybe this is it. Yeah, it says Sinai. Yeah, I'm not sure where that is. Here it is, right here, Mesopotamia. So here you've got this Mesopotamia unit, and it tells you here to have it advance, so you're going to advance it. If it was on 4, it'd go to 3. If it's on 3, it's go to 2. They don't roll, they just advance. And then the player's going to get 1 action. Now, there's a list of actions you can do. Typically, it's go on the offensive against one of these tracks, or place markers, move markers, do different things. But you can see all these cards, some of them they're going to advance several fronts. Sometimes they're going to retreat, not often. But it's going to give you somewhere between 1 and 4 actions. And I can tell you that it's never enough to do what you need to do. And in any of these States of Siege series games, I always feel like, I just need 1 more action, and I've only got 2. Or I have 3, but man, I need 4 because I got to take that. I got to get that front to not advance. But that's part of the fun of the game, making tough choices. You have to rely on die rolls. You want to try to make those modified to your advantage, so you got to remember that. Try to do that as much as possible. It isn't easy, but definitely a big part of the game, and you need to understand how to do that. So there you go. I've pretty much talked for a long time and shown you the components. As you can see, I think it's a very nicely made game. I think it has a lot of great looking components. I love the board, love the counters. Cards are solid. They're great material. and the rules fairly simple. This is a solid game. I'm glad to have this. It says third edition, but I thought these were second editions. But definitely looking forward to playing this. I love these States of Siege series games, and I will get this one played hopefully in the next couple of months. I've got a backlog of solo games that I'm trying to get through, and this is one that I'm definitely interested in. So thanks for watching. I've been Grant for the Player's Aid.